Welcome to Join the Pod. My name is Savannah. I'm the administrative director here at Emerald Cove Day Camp and Yosemite Sierra Cove Camp. But I'm also known as Popcorn. So that is my camp name. The majority of kids know me as Popcorn, which is so fun. And what's so fun is usually I'm not next to Cameron or Dylan because I'm usually on another screen facilitating everything behind the scenes on Join the Pod. But I'm excited to be here to talk more about our topic. I did want to go over a few housekeeping rules just to make sure parents are aware of what's to come in our conversation today. So today it is recorded, so you will have access to all of our recordings after today. We'll also send you an email with this recording as well. And we also have a Q&A. So at the bottom of the screen, you can punch in any questions you have, and we will answer them here on the Zoom. But that'll be after we cover our content. So without further ado, let's get started.
All right, welcome to Join the Pod. I am Dylan Wade, and I am known by our campers as Levi the Nature Guy. And on the other screen there joining Savannah is Cameron Ostrander, also known as Camo. And as you may or may not know, our camper groups at Emerald Cove Day Camp are called pods. And we want to take time each month to connect with parents about the hows and whys of ECDC. So come join our pod today as we talk about one of the ways we can help our campers and parents prepare for camp through forms. Our mission at Emerald Cove Day Camp is to create an environment of God's love such that all members of the ECDC community grow in character, skills, relationships, and faith. And today, one way we can help campers and parents grow is through our forms. Hopefully that four-letter word I just said didn't scare everyone off. I know in my family with 3 kids going through elementary and middle school, and all forms are a constant task to complete. And it seems as though every field trip, trampoline park, and fun activity needs several forms and waivers. And here we are asking for more. So I get it, we get it. But by the end of our time today, I hope you have a better understanding of why it is so important and how we use this information we gather so well. So our online camper forms are used to help us be well prepared for campers so they can have a healthy, fun, and impactful time at camp. Some of these forms are required by law. Some fulfill some standards we have to have for an accredited summer camp, and some, and I would say the vast majority of the information is designed to help us plan even better for your child. So today we are going to review these forms to help parents navigate this list with ease. So Savannah, I'm going to kind of turn it over to you to go over some where do you find
I
these?
am the captain steering the ship of forms. I am here at any parent's disposal if they need help, of course. But what's great is we always do a revision of forms every year to make it easier for parents. Like you said, Dylan, you have so many forms from trampoline parks, soccer, gymnastics, all the things. So we want this process to be easy, painless, and also worthwhile because we want to be the best students of your kids. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Perfect. All right. So here is what your homepage would look like. Now, if you are a new family, this will look somewhat new to you, but if you're a returning family, this looks pretty similar. But what's great is this homepage, you can interact with so many aspects of your parent account. Of course, we're going to go over forms and documents at the top, but below that, you have a refer a friend form. So if you have a friend you want to send camp info to, you can add info there. You can also start another camper application. Say you want to go to another session, or maybe you have an older child and they want to go to our sleepaway camp. But you can look through all of this and you can kind of pick through what seems interesting to you and look to see. We also have our photos accessible accessible through our parent portal. So you can just click photos here, go through all of them, and just see your child have a great time during their summer session. So that's just a little brief overview of the homepage, but I'm going to go ahead and click forms and documents on the dashboard. And here you're going to see this long list. Now, it may seem long, and it is long by the eyes, but I will say, if you look at the icon at the top of the legend, it is an online form. So all of these forms require a digital signature or a digital input. So, for example, our health history form, are you adding your immunization records, or are you telling camp about something that your child is going through, or just giving us updates? That will take a little bit longer, but majority of these forms are really easy and just require a signature, require you to look it over and make sure you know what you're signing off for. And all of them helping us learn about your camper, and also helps with your camper's participation in our program. So that's a brief overview. Of course, once you're done with each form, they will transform to look bright green. Green is such a good color to say you're done. Of course, our office will be keeping in touch with you as we get closer to camp. So say you're missing a form, or say you didn't quite finish a form, we'll always be there to make sure that you're A-okay. So that is a great overview. Awesome. Looks like you're muted, Dylan.
Sorry, I thought I hit.
No worries.
There we go. Thank you, Savannah. I would, Cameron and I would love to highlight a few of more of these forms you mentioned, a little bit more detail for parents. And I'd like to start off with the personality profile. As a parent, this one probably took some of the longer ones to complete, but it contains such golden information for us and especially our counselors. And it probably goes the furthest of all our forms towards helping accomplish our mission of growth for the summer. And so it requires a little bit extra time to go through. There's some good questions in there in a variety of areas that will just sets the tee up for us really well. So those counselors on that first day can really connect with your son or daughter and make the most of the 2 weeks that they have.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with the personality profile, we also have the health history form. Savannah touched on it a little bit when she was talking about the overview of forms, but our health history resource, and it is a requirement for all campers to participate in all of our activities. The reason why it's a requirement is so we can be best prepared when your camp comes and enjoys camp with us. And so we can make sure that they're safe and well cared for, and that they're all good to go to participate in all the fun that we have at camp, which is so fun. Most of the health history form information we share with our lead counselors, our office team, our supervisors, just to make sure everyone has eyes on your camper and to make sure they're aware of any medication and anything like that. If anything does need to be changed though on your health history forms once we get closer to summer, feel free to please call the office and just update us on if there's any additional medications, especially if your camper needs to take lunchtime meds. Please let us know, and so we can distribute those accordingly and safely, and so your little camper will be safe and accounted for and can enjoy camp to the fullest.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. And along with that, we have a pod mate request form, and it's a pretty simple and quick one, but it can have a big impact on camp. We love our campers bringing their friends to camp, and we really encourage it. And this is the place where you get to put down who you would like your son or daughter to be experiencing camp with. And if it's reciprocated by those friends, we will place you as best we can into those pods. But I also wanted to share a little bit about our kind of philosophy around making these pods. Camp is meant to be experienced with others. And some of those are going to be our good friends that we know and spend time with outside of camp. And some are going to be brand new. We've never met them before, or maybe seen them on the soccer field. But camp is a wonderful place to meet new friends too. So, and at the same time, strengthen those relationships that we already have. So knowing that, the best way to make and keep friends in a pod, this small unit of 6 to 9 campers of the same school grade, we put them in the same grades, and they are the same gender. They're going to be sharing their times of meals and stories and growth, adventure, imagination. They're going to have disagreements, and they're going to have big feelings, but all mixed in with fun. It's kind of like a large family. Thus, we put a lot of thought and discernment into who is in it, which pod. It's just not just a who signed up first kind of thing. We sit down and go through their personality profiles, their health history forms. We look at any other either requests, the PodMate request form, and then we use all that information to make a pod that is destined for growth at camp. And so putting all that together, we create these pods that we think and we are intentional about to really make the most of camp. So as a parent, please know that it'll be okay if or when your child does not have all of their friends in one pod. I would coach you if that is the case, if that comes along and they didn't get every friend in their pod, I would coach you to say that they have plenty of opportunities to play with each other at camp. They will see each other, and all of our outdoor activities that are at camp, all camp activities. They might be going to horses together. They're going to be going to the beach together. So there are plenty of times. And there is also a great opportunity. It's a great time to say to your son or daughter that they can also meet and grow in new friendships along the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, the last form that we wanted to go over is the Camper Code of Conduct. So what the Camper Code of Conduct is a guideline for our campers to have pretty much the best experience at camp. Reading this and agreeing to this alongside of your camper ensures that they will able to be clear and communicate effectively kind of the expectations that we have at camp and what is, behavior that might not be great at camp, and how we shape those and how we go about those is super important. Our usual protocol with Camper Code of Conduct involves listening to each camper's story, calming their frustrations, helping the camper understand each other's point of view, and finally working together for a solution and a more acceptable response when they're in violation of the Camper Code of Conduct. And that's when we love to bring our parents in that conversation as well, and just to have that ongoing communication. But this is a very important guideline to go over with your camper, so I strongly encourage that, just to make sure all parties are on the same playing field when walking into camp, and just so all of our campers can have the best experience at camp. Yeah. Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to add as we're wrapping up?
Yeah, you guys shared such great details. I will just say regarding the Camper Code of Conduct, like Dylan was saying, like in pod groups, there's going to be big feelings, and there's going to be times where we have to help campers understand that, hey, that's just not the way we're going to act at day camp. So it is really important that your camper is with you at least for that form. So they read it with you, because we are going to ask for their electric signature. It's not an actual signature, so they don't need to practice their fancy handwriting. It is a typed out name. So that is one form that we do have our parents sit with their kid so they can go over our expectations. And so parents are aware, campers are aware, we're all aware. And I think that's really helpful. I also want to add that we have so many great resources. These recordings of Join the Pod are on our website. So if you ever want to look back and look back at what we said today or what we said at other Join the Pods, feel free to visit our website and look at our video log. But we will also have a really great resource later this week. It is going to be our ACDC 2024 Family Handbook.
Mhm.
So every year we update it, we refresh it to make sure it's really current for this year and the years to follow. So you will have access to that on our website as well as on an email along with the recording of this Join the Pod. So you will receive that later this week. But we encourage all of our parents enrolled or just thinking about our program, look through our family handbook, look and see what resources we give parents. Of course, we give so many resources even during a summer session. So just know that we want to make sure you're informed and we want to provide all those details. And if any questions come up, give me a call. I'd love to help you out. But yeah, so I think that's good.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks, Savannah. Thanks for sharing all of that. And yeah, it's time for some questions. Do we have any questions in our chat or?
Yes, we have a couple of questions, but just a reminder, parents, if any questions come up as we're starting our Q&A, go ahead and ask away. We will ask them. But this question, I get quite a lot actually, because we love how local our families are. But this question is, can my camper's carpool group all be in the same pod group? Great question. And I totally hear where that parent's coming from.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And a fair amount of our parents do a carpool, which is kind of neat. And that I think there are a couple of sides to this. One, make sure if you do carpool and picking up that one other form on there is to authorize who gets to pick up. So make sure you do that. But a good question. So it kind of goes back to a little bit of the request form. And that intentionality in our pod making process. So could they all be in the same pod? Yeah, it's a possibility. But there is also a possibility that they might not all be placed in there. And we could allow that would allow them to maybe setting them up again for the amount of growth that they can have at camp. We are, looking to, we're not gonna, just because they're in the carpool group, we're not gonna automatically put them in that group. We're gonna put a lot of discernment around that and see where, would be their best fit. Again, with that, where can they grow? How can they, what's gonna happen? And so we're gonna look at, we'll look at that, will be a factor. Most of those other pieces, the personality profile, the health history form, those are going to be the more ones we're going to prioritize to make sure that camp is safe and they can grow.
Yeah, I did want to add two things. One is just to remind of our parents that the friend request, it's not guaranteed for such a number of reasons. Not even the personality profile, health history, but we have to look at our numbers. How many kids do we have in each pod group? Is your carpool group full of different grades, different gender? Like it's just a big old party. And I love that. So that's something to know. But like Dylan said, we do prioritize mutual agreements between friend requests. So if you have those two friends that your camper wants to be with, put those two down. But I also want to say about the, usually their emails, so I'll have a full list of those kids in the carpool. That is really helpful too, because when we start getting ready for camp and we start preparing for pickups and drop-offs, when we know who's carpooling prior to camp, it's actually really helpful for us as we're coordinating that logistics. So at any point, as you're gathering your friends and talking about whose van are we going to take the kids down, or I'm on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and you finish the rest of the week. It's really helpful when we are aware of those plans. So just keep us in mind as you're crafting those transportation details. Oh, guys, another question. I was getting ahead of myself. Okay, next question is, how can I prepare for off-site adventures? Or how can I prepare my camper for off-site adventures?
Yeah, that's a good one. So each session, every camp family will be given a camp activity schedule. So on the schedule, all you have to do, it's pretty simple, is to find your pod name of your camper, and you can go through each day, and it'll show you when you're going to the Shea Center to go to horses, when we're going to the tide pools at Dana Point, tide pools to go on a little tide pool hike, or our beach days, or if you're going to the ranch at Zoomars, which is our new program for our K through first graders, which we're so excited. But you'll be given that at the beginning of the session, and it's super easy to follow, and it'll have like a little guideline of what to bring, wear closed-toed shoes, pants if you're going to horses, or if we're going to the beach, wear your rash guard, sunscreen every day, but just to make sure all of those things are checked off before you come to camp. Also, I will note, if you have horses in the morning, this will also be listed on the schedule. If you have horses in the morning, like first thing in the morning, drop-off time is a little bit earlier. So you will have to be there at 8:30, because after the buses leave for that first activity, they're off. They're off to the races. But yes, so make sure you just pay close attention on those days that you do have horses, because sometimes they sneak up on you. But
Totally.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's a good
you will
question.
be well prepared.
Yeah.
We make sure our parents are aware in advance, so you will have access to that schedule prior to your session.
Mhm.
And this is a great resource to have on your fridge,
Yeah.
as well as on the family handbook. Our last page of the family handbook is a printer-friendly page.
Mhm.
Though you can print off the whole family handbook if you want, but we know using up all that ink probably isn't what you want to do. So we do have a condensed
Mhm.
nitty-gritty. Here is the stuff you need to know daily at the end of our family handbook. So for example, sunscreen, water, are you bringing your lunch? Are they going to horses? Are they bringing their towel? All those details are condensed down to one form, so kind of a little checklist for you parents.
Yeah.
But coinciding that with the activity schedule,
Mhm.
that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
It's great.
Side by side is
Yes. Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
that was our last question, but I'm sure more questions will come up over time. So please call us,
Mhm.
email us. We want to connect with you and answer any question, big or small.
Yeah. Well, wow, that was a lot of good information there. Thank you, Savannah, for sharing these nitty-gritty details and all that goes into that. Thank you, parents, for putting in all the time and effort that it takes to provide us with this information. We are so thankful and appreciative that you do this and you do it so well. So we can just again get your camper right up there, ready to go for the summer. So again, yeah, if you have any questions or concerns come up, feel free to give us a call or an email, and we'd love to help you through that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, just in closing, if you have any more questions about camp, or you know someone that might be interested in camp, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to get coffee with you and just talk a little bit more about Emerald Cove Day Camp and what makes our program so special. And yeah, so feel free to reach out. We'd love to just chat a little bit more. But other fun announcements going on. Later this month, there'll be a fun camper engagement. So stay tuned for that. We're really excited. And just thank you for joining us on this Join the Pod. Our next Join the Pod will be Day in the Life of at Emerald Cove Day Camp.
Yes.
So that will be May 8th, and we're really excited to just walk through what a typical day at camp looks like and what to expect. What is your camper doing every single day? What is this watermelon thing that they keep talking about? So stay tuned May 8th for that. But just thank you so much for joining us. We love talking about these things. So please give us a call if you have any questions. And we'll see you next time on Join the Pod. Cool.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.